What questions do citizens have for the German EU Council Presidency? The new EU's format provides answers to 3 questions from the population. This time, in this video, I talk about their subject of trade in the European Union. First, why does the World Trade Organization, WTO, have to be modernized? Federal Minister of Economics Altmaier wants to use the informal meeting of EU trade ministers to further support the modernization of the World Trade Organization, the WTO, as the task of this international organization are necessary parts of the solution to the COVID-19 crisis. This includes international cooperation, rule-based trading and open markets. Legal security in international trade relations must be strengthened through reforms. Therefore, the WTO dispute settlement must be reformed. The plurilateral initiatives, especially on digital trade, are also important. It is an important contribution to the resilience of supply chains. Second, is sustainability important for the EU trade agreements? Yes, the EU pursues an ambitious trade policy with ambitious, binding sustainability provisions. The current EU approach to the implementation and enforcement of sustainability provisions in EU free trade agreement strengthens and reinforces in particular international rules and their enforcement mechanisms. With the help of this approach, many sustainability issues in the area of work, environment and climate, biodiversity, etc. are covered. Dialogue and long-term partnerships are also promised. A high level of willingness to implement, comply with and enforce the regulations can be expected through continuous support for the parties, transparent communication with stakeholders and civil society, and effective monitoring. Third, what is the Green Deal and how does it affect EU trade policy? At the end of 2019, the EU Commission presented a communication on the European Green Deal with the aim of transforming Europe into the first climate-neutral continent by 2050. The Green Deal can only bring about sustainable growth in Europe if it appropriately addresses the COVID-19 crisis and aligns the strengthening of our economy with our goals in climate protection. Well thought out, realistic and concrete proposals are important. An impact assessment is essential for any planned measure. The same applies to the consideration of making the Paris Climate Protection Agreement an essential element of every trade agreement. With regard to EU trade policy, sustainability provisions should be effectively enforced in free trade agreements. In addition, a CO2 border adjustment must not lead to further trade conflicts and should be compatible with WTO rules and provide effective protection against carbon leakage. The European Union thrives on the interest and commitment of its citizens. That is why the German government wants to know: what question do you have for the German EU Council Presidency? What exactly would you like to know from the people in the ministries who prepare and take the political decisions? For this purpose, in their 3 questions, 3 answers format, they put citizens' questions on key topics of the Council Presidency to vote on their social media channels. They then answer the 3 most clicked questions on eu2020.de. And if you now want to know more about European or global politics, YouTube has chosen another of my videos right here for you on the end screen, right next to your chance to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Click and enjoy. Viel Spaß!